during this time of humanitarian pause, people have been doing like barbecues for the soldiers. Like one is a French immigrant who moved to Dubai, opened a restaurant, and then felt, she couldn't stay there. And she said, I got to get all my family together because her cousin was killed in the 7th of October massacre. And so she says, I want to go throughout Israel and I want to make barbecues for everybody. And that's what they're doing. They're on their own bill. And I'm just so glad that we, as the Aliyah Return Center, thanks to you, have been able to help a lot of people with barbecues like this. It's amazing. We've also had a moment to just talk about kind of some of the stories of October the 7th. One of my friends I was just talking with is a doctor, and a civilian doctor. And imagine he gets called up, he hears what's going on, he takes off his doctor's clothes, puts on a uniform and drives right into the middle of, he says, the most devastating thing he's ever seen. Of course, so many bodies strewn all over the floor. And he goes and says that he had to fight off thousands. I mean, there's thousands of terrorists, and he's, going between all these different kibbutzes and rescuing as many people as he can. He barely stayed alive. He stayed there, of course, a few nights, but he just tells me the horrors. And he said people don't realize once they clean up the bodies and they go there and the soldiers show up later, they don't realize what they've experienced. And but I think it was on like 2 days after the 7th of October, suddenly some news channels, it was 80 different news outlets, and they had representatives come in the middle of a war zone, right? And they come, and he's there, my buddy, and they say to him, hey, where can we go? He said, I'll take you on a little tour if you want, but there's still terrorists that are hiding. And they're coming out of tunnels, of course, and they're coming out of, they're in the different houses and in different buildings in like Kfar Aza, in Nir Yitzchak, in Nachal Oz, many of these kind of places. And so he takes 80 different, and there's 80 different languages represented. And he's trying to communicate with them and take them around. And he said, this is how you have that movie that's played in the Knesset and played around the world. There's a certain movie, that one? That documents some of the terrors that were done to us, where people were burned alive and arms chopped off, and pregnant mothers with their belly cut open and the baby taken out and killed and knifed, and every single car, every single window shot out, every single car blown up. They had these special bombs they stick in the gas tank. It's like a Molotov cocktail, but anyway. So then he shows these 80 journalists around, and they make a video. And let me tell you what, he said they couldn't stand on their legs seeing on this little walking tour. And of course they were shot at with many rockets as well as bullets. And anyway, he's got kids and stuff, and he survived. But he says we're just talking about some of these things like it's normal, and I think this is not normal, and even I should just tell you this, just like what life is like right now. And anyway, so these 80 journalists, many of them threw up, because if you see what they saw, it's really horrible. But I know that we're not done. I know that we're in a really hard time also in life, and I realize that we're going to have a lot of fighting yet ahead of us. How many of us will make it out alive? I hope all of us. We're praying for all of us to make it out alive. And these barbecues help. There's few people who know how to bring hope in better ways than barbecuing for the soldiers. Little pause. It's like the middle of a soccer game where you're like, they kick the ball, and now it's time to change strategy, switch up platoon, switch up battalion, switch up players, have a little breather, and then go back in to finish the job. So that's what we're doing. There's even some people bringing out guitars and with sad songs. The songs are very sad, and but our hope is in our eyes and hope's in our hearts. So I read, me, I read the Bible, and Isaiah 60, verse, 20? No more will Hamas, violence, be heard in your land, but your gates will be called salvation and praise. And that's what I believe in. So I just wanted you to think for a moment at what people are going through here. We will help the Palestinians by cleansing the land. That's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. God is just. God is righteous. And I think I need to take a second more just to talk about parenting. If you teach your children for 75 plus years all about murder, death, killing, destroying Israel, then naturally that's what comes out. And what we need is the spirit of Elijah. and fathers teaching children good things. And so with that, I say thank you for your prayers. Thank you for standing with me and for sharing these videos. Am Yisrael Chai, the land of Israel lives. Thank you for all you who supply meat for me to send the guys some barbecues. It's beautiful. The Knesset, beautiful. Our nation's capital, Jerusalem. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. Those that love you will prosper. Truly an honor to be able to be invited to come to Jerusalem, our nation's capital, and come to the Knesset, the place of decisions, and join with thousands, hundreds of thousands of people all over the world to pray. Bring them home. Bring them home. Bring them all home.